Oh, it's still going on. Singularity. Oh, I thought this is the end. I can... Okay, gravity is quite low. I still run? I think so. Oh, I missed it. I told you, fucking depth perception is so difficult in this game. This is so... Okay, we have to go like this. And then just hold, like... Well, not straight, but diagonal. If I could see my shadow earlier, then I know where I would land. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Looks like we have to make those sounds. There she is. This feels like we are so close to the end. There's our girl. I'm just gonna activate everything. I'm not quite sure if this is a must or if it isn't, but it just feels right. You sure? Are you sure? Okay. Oh God. Sure. There they are. Oh no 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 no! Too far. Too far. Shit. Okay. I'm still here. Good. I have to say I love the simplicity. That you have just a few colors. Although it's not even colors, it's just white and black and gray. But all those stars and stuff, it just looks cool. Okay, what is this? That's the Singularity. That was the Singularity. A lighthouse. Or seagulls in the background. There's the house, there's a swing. And there we are. Is this real? Did we make it home? There they are. Or maybe everyone is dead. He too. He died, and that was his travel to meet his family in heaven? Oh no, I don't know. And I still don't know why it's called the plane effect. Aww. Oh shit, that wasn't real. What the hell? Yeah. I don't understand. I definitely have to look up what this is all about. Very interesting game. Alright then, I'm just gonna get started with talking a little bit. So, controls were kind of clunky. depth perception very difficult, at least for me. An undescribable story. Like I said, I don't really know what happened, and I don't understand the ending. I like the art style, definitely. It was a nice mix of mosaic and inside, I want to say. And yeah, it didn't took that long, to be honest. I was expecting like 7 hours or so. I think it took me about, I want to say 5, something like this. And yeah, I'm just gonna let the credits roll from here on out. And hopefully I have found some information about what this is all about. Special thanks go to our beta testers. Wait, are we already at the end of the... That was the plane effect. Okay. So I'm gonna have to put the explanation of the story at the end in just a bit. And quite certain we will be at the beginning of the menu. Yeah, it definitely looks like it. Yeah, let me just press a button. Okay then. Yeah, very interesting game. Very weird and confusing. And actually, at the beginning I had an idea what's going on, but then again I don't. I have no idea. So before I say anything else, I'm gonna put the explanation, the hopeful explanation that I can find online right here, right now. Alright, let's take a look at heypoorplayer.com. The Plane Effect review, the never-ending commute of nightmares. It's your last day at work. It doesn't seem like anyone's noticed. You're still in the office, puttering away at your computer until the very end, alone. It's hard to say if that's a normal experience. After all, some of us do love staying late for the sake of a quiet space to really focus. What does seem to be abnormal, however, is the oppressive, otherworldly force that is making the trip back home a never-ending nightmare. Were there always drones ready to kill me if I put a toe on the crosswalk before it was safe to do so? Were there always man-eating worms full of musical instruments and voids with floating geometric shapes? And why does home look like a murder scene, if that's even home at all? Where is home? Where am I? Who am I? Am I? At no point in time did I truly feel like I understood what was happening in the Plane Effect. Considering that was most likely the devs team's goal, complete confusion in a dystopian cityscape, I think they nailed it for better or worse. The Plane Effect is a beautifully eerie 3 to 6 hour journey through space and time and bended reality. The Plane Effect opens up on a salaryman, aptly called Solo, clacking away at his keyboard. Such a dutiful employee. It's his last day, yet he puts in 100% of his effort until the very end. After signing off for the final time, Solo grabs his coat and briefcase and heads out the door, ready for the long commute home. Unfortunately for Solo, it seems his commute is far lengthier than he remembers, unending even, and continuously devolving into a surreal and unrecognizable landscape that seems strange at times and frightening at others. Will Solo keep his sense of self as he tries to find his way home? The Plane Effect's aesthetics aim to intrigue. A quick look at the trailer is all most people needed to get their interest piqued. Yeah, for me too. The trailer just was enough. It looked like Inside and Mosaic and a bit like State of Mind. And so I thought, yeah, this might be same genre, same style in a way. Yeah. The minimalist geometric visuals with a limited palette emphasizes key parts of the puzzles, drawing players' eyes to the solutions quite easily. Well, I wouldn't say quite easily. Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes it looked obvious, but most times it was actually quite difficult. Set on an isometric plane, the Plane Effect is extremely cinematic, preferring to show players specific shots rather than let them freely roam around the individual scenes. Coupled with the atmospheric music to match, the Plane Effect is a dark and moody puzzle adventure that will have you questioning reality. Yeah, definitely. When it comes to puzzles, the Plane Effect unfortunately misses the mark. While I do love it when characters show logic when picking up objects, i.e. if I don't need it, why am I taking it? This is what I said at the beginning, that I have to first see that I can't move on to then grab stuff which I've already seen, which I knew I might need. But why would you pick something up if you don't need it yet? Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. There was so little communication between Solo and the environment that it was hard to know when I needed something and when I didn't. Yeah, exactly. There were times the way forward would be completely blocked. The only key to progression just walking into absolutely everything to see if anything could somehow lead to the answer. It didn't progress into this weird friction. It was like this from the beginning. I still have no idea why. As a guy who clearly commutes every day to this desk job, had to scrounge for change in the nearby vending machines for a metro ticket. I get that not a lot was supposed to make sense, but that's between world and character. Between player and puzzles, I should understand what it is I'm supposed to be doing. To be fair, the puzzles wouldn't be so much of an issue if the controls weren't difficult to work with. Yeah, exactly, like I said, a bit clunky. Yeah. I tried the playing effect with both a controller and a keyboard, and I emphatically declare the controller to be the better option. Yeah, I would have thought so. Yeah. Because we have less buttons and it's easier to find what you need to do. Yeah. I'm not entirely sure if it's Solo's speed or his walk cycle animation, but maneuvering him across the screen feels like trying to walk through water. Yeah, definitely. Additionally, pressing the sprint button doesn't actually do anything unless you're moving first, which felt like a step backwards in quality of life choices. Yep, that happened to me too. I tried to run when I was standing still with R2, but he was moving normally. I had to start moving and then hold R2 to start running. Yeah. All of that could be forgiven if it were not for the isometric plane or vice versa. It's one thing to need to run around on it, but there were parts that required precision jumping where one misstep led to death. Yeah, exactly. Good luck trying to balance on a diving board with imprecise footwork and clunky keyboard controls. Yeah. That's what I said. Yeah. Despite my criticism, there was something about the playing effect that told me to keep going, hoping my patience would pay off. Sure, there's no denying it's a beautiful game, but it eventually became clear that its visually impactful cinematic nature is really what's carrying the entire title. Well, this and the music, the sound effects, top-notch, really good. There's a deeper message to be found in the playing effect, and I think the people who love purposefully esoteric art films are going to get the most out of it. The playing effect's concept is solid, but its execution had too many friction points. By the time the climax rolled around, I was far too angry to share in Solo's emotional breakthrough, practically glaring at his face for daring to put me through the paces of this frustrating experience. Why do I resent pixels? The playing effect strikes me as a fairly polarizing experience that won't be for everyone. If you prefer gameplay mechanics over aesthetics and deeper meaning, turn back now. If you love a cinematic, visually arresting journey and don't mind clunky controls, this might be the surreal commute from another dimension for you. I can't guarantee the playing effect will be your favorite game this year, but I can promise a unique experience that will make you feel all sorts of emotions, whether those emotions are awe or anger is anyone's guess. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can find one last little thing, one last explanation, and then I think I'm gonna keep it like it is, because like I said, I have found a bunch of reviews, but actually not really an explanation so far. So, last one, AdventureGamers.com review for the playing effect. The playing effect tells the story of Solo, a nondescript worker in an unnamed office in an unnamed city of a futuristic dystopian world. He has just finished his day at work and all he wants is simply to go back home to his loving family. However, there appears to be a mysterious disturbance in the electromagnetic fabric of life. In other words, reality is messed up, and Solo has a long and complicated journey ahead of him. You can play on 3 difficulty levels: normal, a narrative hint, and guided. Yet I was playing in narrative hint. In normal mode, the game lets you solve the puzzles by yourself. In narrative hint, the game will show an icon wherever there is something to be done, but will not disclose what is the required action. Guided mode comes pretty close to a hint book. You can switch between the modes at will during gameplay, which is a very convenient feature. Ah, I didn't know that. I could switch it. Okay. The game is presented in an isometric view. Graphics are stark and stylized, reminiscent of early German expressionists' films of the 1920s. Really? I've never had the feeling of that. And I'm German. But then again, I didn't live in the 20s, and I haven't really seen such films. Color palette is monochromatic, with lots of black, white, and shades of gray, with the occasional color tint. They help set the overall gloomy, melancholic tone of the game. The game is divided into chapters. The first, a prologue titled The Office, serves as a tutorial. Each chapter takes place in a different location, sometimes hinted at in its title. Environments are bleak, sometimes desolate. Though there are almost no actual people around, there are plenty of signs of their presence. From ominous dark silhouettes secretly watching Solo at the office to stores, factories, laboratories, and the like. Puzzles in the playing effect stem from the locations themselves. Almost none of them feel like they are there purely for puzzle's sake. There's a lot of object fetching from point A to be used in point B. Not all the objects are in plain sight, which requires some pixel hunting. There is no inventory per se. When picking up an object, Solo will keep it until the time it is needed. In 1 or 2 instances, objects can be combined, for example attaching hooks to a fishing rod, but it's mostly take it and use it somewhere nearby. There are some mazes to navigate. Among them is a shark-infested one, and 1 or 2 inspired by the works of Escher. I don't even know who Escher is. There's an occasional timed puzzle, but these are not too annoying, and the game seems to be quite patient about them. Yeah, that's true. I felt that while not all the puzzles made sense, they are still quite logical within the boundaries of the game's universe. They have to be completed in a certain order. Yeah, that was a bit annoying, that you have to do it in a certain specific order. Yeah. For example, you cannot use a payphone to call a cab before you find a coin with which to activate it. Well, this is logic. But then again, then the other article which I've read about why do you need a coin, don't you have any money in your pockets? Whenever you try to do something that is not possible, Solo will shake his head and utter a melancholy You can die at times, but the game restores to preset checkpoints within each location. Locations are varied, ranging from the office, to which you will return several times during the game, to an abandoned oil field in the desert, a marine minefield, and a space rocket. You can roam freely in most of them. It sometimes takes a lot of walking to reach the puzzles. There are 2 or 3 locations which seem to serve merely as transit points from the previous one to the next. Apart from walking, there was not really much to do in these locations. Maybe they were intended to be a sort of resting point for the player. In each location there is a touch of surrealism, like floating chairs and umbrellas in the office, or electric jellyfish in space. Sound design is excellent. Yeah, I can agree to that. There is no music. What? For me this is music, the sounds you hear in the background, but okay. There is no music, but abstract soundscapes which match the graphics perfectly, enhancing the overall eerie, surreal experience. There are many environmental sounds like moving vehicles, working machinery, and weather effects. There are also mechanical clicks, whirs, and electrical beeps. All sounds, no matter how trivial, are very well made. Even the sound of Solo's footsteps varies according to the surface he treads on. There is no dialogue, as Solo is always on his own. What the game lacks is, well, a plot. Yeah, that's what I'm missing. A plot, something, a red line that you are following, and that you see, okay, it's distinctive, it's cohesive, right? Solo simply goes from one place to another for no obvious reason. There seems to be no logical connection between the locations, there is no backstory or character development. Many questions are left unanswered. We know next to nothing about Solo himself or his family. What is the event that caused the disturbance that altered reality? Why does he have to go through such an odyssey simply to get home? Solo almost never shows any emotion, though we do see how much he loves his family and misses them. The Plane Effect has some philosophical undertones and, on occasion, a social commentary about our current everyday life. What it does best is to make you think about what is real and what is only perceived as reality. You may find yourself wondering what the important things in life are and what is life itself. The clever ambivalent twist ending, or is it, leaves you satisfied yet confused, and ambivalence which prevails throughout the game. Okay, yeah, good. I think that's it. I'm not gonna say anything else about the Plane Effect. I'm just gonna say what I believe the end is. It looked like he got home, but then again he was still in space, so I think he died. And his wife and child are also dead, and he actually reunited with those in heaven, or wherever they are. That's what I think, because everything else just doesn't make any sense. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it like it is, guys. Really interesting game. And if you guys have any ideas or theories what this really is all about and why it's called the Plane Effect, I still don't know why. I still don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it like it is. Like I said, this is what I believe, what I think might be the meaning behind it. He couldn't get home. There was some problems with the entity, whatever that is, the alien life form. And he's just trying to get home, but he won't get home at all unless he dies in outer space. Okay. Yeah, alright then. Yeah, I want to leave it like it is. Like I said, you can post your ideas and theories in the comments below. I'm gonna read those definitely and respond if necessary, of course. Alright guys, that's actually it. If you guys want to decide on the next games coming, I still have some more indie games already and some more I want to buy later. Just take a look at my Patreon page, link is in the description below. As soon as you are a patron, you get some perks like having your names in the game or deciding when the next game's coming. and you will see some sneak peeks for the next upcoming episodes and even early access for my videos on Patreon as well. And as long as I don't have any patrons, I won't post any videos or something like this. So I'm gonna hold off till I have my first one. Alright guys, that's actually it. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it. Well, maybe as much as I did, maybe even more, maybe less. And I will see you later. Bye bye.